Alrighty guys, I'm KC and welcome back to a brand new episode of Minecraft Survival. Today's episode is going to be a little bit on the different side because today I'm going to do a bit of a talky episode. And I'm going to talk about what's been going on with me, where I've been and just stuff like that, and let you know exactly why I've been very inconsistent. And I'm going to actually come very forward with the truth, and I'm going to be very honest in this video. And I've been trying to hide the reason I've been inconsistent for the past few months. I've been trying to hide the real reason why, because it doesn't involve just me, it involves other people, and out of respect to them, I didn't want to drag this all over YouTube. Now that being said, I do believe that it's gotten to a point now where this kind of stuff, it's kind of over now, and it needs to be sort of dealt with in sort of like a retrospect. So I'm going to be building up the outside of the storage hut. I don't think I actually ever showed this off. So I did finish the storage hut between episodes, and I did get all of the chests in, and I got the vast majority of our resources moved in. Obviously some of them we haven't discovered yet, but these might not be the permanent locations. A lot of chests have nothing in them. Obviously the ones that have stuff in them have stuff on the actual item frame. That was it. I apologise, I've got my third cold in 3 months, so I'm not happy about it. But yeah, so everything kind of got moved out from this array that was over here of chests, and I knocked this down and I did some sort of landscaping. And I've got a cool idea for what I kind of want to do just here. But we'll get into that in a future episode. Right now, I'm just sort of working on this. So, I want to talk about what's been going on with me, the truth, what's really kind of been going on with me. And the truth of the matter is that it's very difficult to kind of to explain it in a way that it'll make sense, but last year was one of the worst years of my life. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to complain about it, because that's not me. I'm not the kind of guy that will sit here and I'll complain about stuff. I've been down with hell in life. I know I have. But sitting here complaining and whining and moaning about it, that's not going to fix it. That's not going to take it away. That's not going to make my life any better, you know? So, when I say that the last year was kind of terrible for me, it was terrible in one big way. And that was that my marriage started to break down. My wife and I, we were starting to argue a lot. Now, as a general rule of thumb, I'm not an argumentative person. We could do that, I suppose would be the better option. So as a general rule, I'm not an argumentative person. I come from a family who do rather enjoy an argument. You know, I'm not going to pretend that my family don't, you know. But for the most part, I don't enjoy an argument. In fact, I try to avoid an argument when at all possible. And my wife, again, comes from a very similar kind of scenario. She, again, doesn't like arguing very much. She rather hates it. And so we were kind of really happy for a long time because we had a problem with each other. We could talk about it. It was very easy to do. I was very proud of that fact. But last year, things between my wife and I they started boiling over. I don't know if it was the pressure of me. I was putting a lot of time and effort into YouTube, and I was following a couple of my other endeavors. She was doing the same thing. She was going to college. I don't know if life got too stressful in that regards for the both of us, that we just started focusing more on those and less on each other. I don't know, you know. But whatever it was, we ended up arguing quite a lot. And this was new for my wife and I. You know, we've had couples arguments. You know, every couple they argue. You know, but we were just arguing over the least little thing. You know, anything would set one off, and it was really out of the ordinary for me. It was really out of the ordinary for my wife. And you know, in February of last year, she took a bit of a leave and left for a couple of weeks. Now, that is, in and of itself is nothing new. You know, over the course of our relationship, whenever we started to butt heads like that and we started to argue a bit, we've always taken that time to, like, hey, you know what? Aren't you overdue for a visit to your mum's or something? And my wife will take our daughter and go and see her family over in the city for a couple of weeks, you know. And I mean, she doesn't always go there when tempers are getting a little hot, you know. She will randomly go there as well, but it's just a great way to, like I said, we don't like to argue. We're not that kind of people. So this way we get to have a little bit of a break from each other, and usually everything's sort of like sorted when she comes back, you know. And you know, we kind of thought that's what it would be. And she went and stayed with a friend for a couple of weeks and came back, and things were good for about a week. Then not so much. Things started again not being so good between us. Now, unfortunately, for my wife and I, we kind of we didn't really see separating as an idea, really. You know, it's not something that either one of us wanted. So we decided just to keep trying to work things out, which turned out to be the worst possible thing we could have done in that scenario. But we tried. And, you know, if I go up there, will I be able to reach these? I don't think I will be. So we tried. We tried our very best to make things work. And we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. And, you know, I'm just going to go like that for there. And so these arguments became daily. And like I said, my wife and I, we're not those kind of people. We don't like arguing. We absolutely loathe arguing, you know. But for some reason, we were arguing. And so in June, we decided to redecorate. And we thought, you know, let's just freshen up the house. Give us something in common to do. Because when we started to sort of argue in the past, you know, we had like this whole bucket list of stuff we would do. You know, at one point we started getting into modded Minecraft together. You know, and that was kind of like where I got big on modded Minecraft, was during that period. We found something in common again, and that doesn't go there. You know, we found a couple of YouTube channels this time around that we enjoyed watching, and it really kind of helped. It did, but at the same time, there was still every few days or so we would end up running into these issues with each other, and it just wasn't good. It's not what either one of us wanted, because, you know, you start arguing, and when you start arguing, you start fighting all the time. You're one step away from hating each other, and I didn't want to hate her, and she doesn't want to hate me. So we decided, shortly after we decided to redecorate, that it was probably in our best interest that we separate, and that we don't know what to do after that, but we didn't want to live together anymore. It was a bad idea. We'd been arguing for almost 6 months straight, and that was really out of the ordinary for us. And so we decided that it was probably better that we separate before we end up destroying this love we have for each other. And so she went to stay with some family. For about 3 months, she went to stay with family. Now, unfortunately, for my wife, most of her family is situated in the city. And city life is very different from village life. Very different. You know, I live in a neighborhood, in a village where when I nip to the shop, I don't need to lock my front door. When I leave my car in the car park of the shop, I don't need to lock my car. You know, I don't need to do any of that stuff because it's a safe place, you know. Like, we have had, like, the whole time I've lived here, there's been one robbery that I know of. And, you know, a population of like 4,000, it's very small, but in the city it's a lot different. And so the people in the city are a lot different. And there was a lot of drama going on in the city. Within my wife's family, people were falling out, and, you know, my wife really didn't want that. And like I said, you know, we have a daughter, And oh, I missed one here. Did I miss this whole side? I think nope, just missed one. So we have a daughter, and it's probably for the best that she's not exposed to much of that. And my wife was finding it very difficult to find time for our daughter as well as sort of be there. And again, the city is 14 miles away. My wife doesn't drive, so it's this whole... It just was, after about 3 months, it really wasn't feasible for my wife to continue to stay with her family. Too much drama, too difficult to get our daughter to and from school. And in general, it wasn't working out for my wife. It was making my wife miserable. So my wife came back, and this was around September, October time. Actually, it'd probably be about October time. And we found things were really good for like a month. Then we started arguing again. And we quickly realized that we love each other and we want our relationship to work. But living together it wasn't an option at the minute. And so my wife began to look for a place to live. And then things started to get better between us. Knowing that my wife was going to be living somewhere else, it wouldn't be too many arguments, and things just overall would be better. Now, like I said, I live in this very safe neighborhood, and places in this neighborhood are very hard to come by. Like, insanely difficult to come by. And of course, I don't have a conventional job, so to speak. I don't have an employer where I work 9 till 5. I do lots of little things, and I basically work for myself. So it's not really feasible to go and start doing much of anything. So my wife ended up getting a job herself and putting university on the back burner, which I completely told her not to do. I told her she should stay in uni. She's doing really well, but it's her choice at the end of the day, not mine. So anyway, we started looking for a place, and like I said, they're not easy to come by, and we found one in the next village over, which she seemed to like, but the deal fell through in the end for whatever reason. They didn't really give her a reason. It was just she never heard back from them. So I guess there was a few people that was applying for it, and she just ended up drawing the sort of like short straw, so to speak, in that scenario. Now, but she has now got her own place. She's still with me at the minute, still living here at the family home. But she's going to be moving in there very shortly. Right now, it's just a case of, furniture. She's, it's fun that our arguments now are little petty ones where we don't even have to raise our voices, and we're just debating like, you know what, you bought this cooker when we first moved into this house. It came out of your money. You should take the cooker with you. And she's like, no, I can't do that because that'll mean that someone has no cooker here. I want to get all new stuff anyway. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, can I have that small telly? And I'm like, well, I kind of like my dining room telly. You've got the telly in the living room. That's your telly. You take that. Yeah, but I don't really want to cart that telly all the way to the flat because I'm scared I might break it, because it is quite a big telly we've got in the living room. We got a 50-inch plasma. It's kind of outdated now, though. It's many, 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 many years old. We're probably going to have to do stairs here now. I'm thinking about this. Yeah, we'll do stairs. That's fine. So yeah, and anyway, and they're not arguments per se. They're just little debates, and that's what a relationship should be. You should debate things like that. But it's just been a lot of that didn't need to go. That definitely didn't need to go. But yeah, it's kind of been for the past few months, I've been dealing with this. I've had my wife here. We've been sort of arguing quite a lot, and just sort of things not working out, and my marriage was falling apart, and I needed to find a way to save it. And I'm not going to say that I saved it in the end, because we haven't discussed in length like what's gonna happen when she moves out. Are we gonna date? Are we not gonna date? You know, it's all up in the air at this point. But the important thing is that we managed to solve the arguments, and you know, I was just yesterday helping her move some stuff into the flat. And again, you know, today, you know, I was helping her out as well. I say I was helping her out. She came and nicked my phone and did a lot of calling. But you know, we're talking. We watched WWE Royal Rumble yesterday together, which was really fun. Considering we was arguing so much, we didn't actually watch Mania together. The first year we've been together where we didn't watch WrestleMania together. And you know, we sat down and we finally watched 12 Monkeys, which is an amazing TV show. If you haven't seen 12 Monkeys, I've never seen a more satisfying show in my life. And I've watched quite a few. That show was good. And, you know, that kind of worked out good for us. And, you know, I mean, just since we know that she's going to be moving out, she's going to have her own place, things between us have been a lot better. And the reason I'm making this video, it's not just to open up about this, but it's also to just help, I hope. I hope that someone sees this and someone's in an issue with their missus, that things just aren't working out. Maybe sometimes all you need is space, you know? And it may not work, you know? We may not be able to solve things. We may end up dating other people. We may end up getting divorced in the end, you know? But we may end up saving it. And, you know, maybe I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on if people are interested in that kind of stuff. I really don't mind. Just not put myself into a hole. But I think a lot of the time that cooler heads can prevail, you know? Because me and my wife, we knew we weren't argumentative people. And we loathed that we had become that. We had become exactly what we didn't want to become. We were arguing over pretty much stuff that really didn't warrant an argument, and we didn't even know why. And, you know, that's kind of one of the hardest things, is when you don't know why. I mean, if you know why, great. But you don't know why, well, it's kind of a little bit more difficult, isn't it? And we don't know if it was stress of our lives, if it was, you know, I mean, I'm usually pretty good with stress, but my wife's never really been in a lot of stress per se. She's always had it kind of like easy, really. You know, she's not that her life isn't stressful, it's just she's good at coping with it. You know, she's like freaking Wonder Woman. Oh. Right. Okay. That's an issue. Because I can't put that there. Ah. Which means this is probably going to have to be a stair, isn't it? And I don't think I brought any stairs out with me. No, I didn't. I have no idea why I was doing this episode anyway. I just wanted to talk about this and figured I'd get something. What? I must have caught Q. Oh, I died and all, by the way, between episodes. And unfortunately, I was just so busy. I didn't record the date. I thought I jotted it down. So I don't actually have a death date. I think I died twice, if I'm remembering rightly. But anyway, I died on a cactus over there. I was running from a skeleton. I got shot just next to the cactus. And I ended up losing just my silk pick and my diamond chest plate. And I don't know if I had diamond leggings or not. I can't remember. But I didn't lose too much. Most of my stuff survived. But unfortunately, I didn't. But yeah, anyway, back to needing space. Now, for me and my wife, this worked really well because, you know, my wife and I, we've been married for 7 years this year. Yes, 7 years this year. We got married in 2012. And last year, on October the 3rd, we'd actually been together for 10 years. It's a long time. You know, we were, for all intents and purposes, each other's first love. You know, I mean, I'd had girlfriends before her. She'd had boyfriends before me, but it was nothing more than a little bit of fun and, you know, what you do in school. This was the first time we'd ever really been with someone that we actually enjoyed being with. You know, someone that we kind of really loved, you know. And because of stuff that happened, we ended up getting together in October. By the January we was living together, and by the February she was pregnant. Which meant that we never really got much time to smell the roses. And the beginning of our relationship was very heavily with each other as well. You know, we went to college together, and I've talked about this before, but the commute from where I lived to the city, you know, just to get to college on time, I was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't walking through my front door till 10:30 at night. You know, and most of that was travel and waiting for the buses. So, you know, when my wife and I got together, she suggested that I stay with her. And, you know, after we'd been dating about a month or so, we did. We ended up staying together. And, you know, I was spending almost... I should have gone for the stairs. We were spending the vast majority of our time together. And again, you know, we never really got to do much of the smelling of the roses, so to speak. And it was always kind of like one of the big things my wife and I had talked about over the years is that, you know, we had a good relationship, but the one thing that we didn't get was we didn't really get that whole dating effect. You know, we never really got that. We never got to argue over trying to convince her to take a night off work so I could take her out somewhere nice, or her trying to convince me, you know what, you can record those videos for YouTube tomorrow, or you can do those voices for that game tomorrow, or you know what, he can wait an extra day for that law. You know, we never got a chance to do much of that, and you know, and or buying her flowers. I never bought her flowers. I mean, if you met my wife, you would understand why I don't buy flowers, because she really doesn't like flowers. She's not one of those kind of women. But my point is, we never really got to do much of that, like, whole dating aspect of our relationship. It was always this, you know, we'd gone from being in college together, then went into being a parent, and then we became homeless because my mother kicked us out. And then we got our own house, so we had to figure out, sort of like, furniture and stuff like that. And then, you know, on top of that, there was, you know, trying to find entertainment on a budget. You know, we didn't have jobs, we were in college, and it was, you know, we were, because of the commute, like I said, the commute from where we live to the college it's work hours. It's literally, when we were at college, we lived college. We absolutely lived college. So it was taking it in turns. One of us would be at college while the other one would be the breadwinner, so to speak. And, you know, a lot of our time was spent sort of working on building a family, building a home, building a life. And if you've ever been on the poorer end of life, try gaming on a budget. It's not easy at all. You know, and I'm finally at a point in my life now where I'm financially stable. You know, where money, while I don't have as much as I would like, I have more than enough to get by. Speaking of which, if you wish to support me on Patreon, link down below. No, I'm just joking. There is a link, but I'm not promoting it just yet. I just wanted to make sure that I got my username in there, and I just wanted to sort out my channel description. But anyway, back to the more things. I would much rather you subscribe to the channel than support me on Patreon, to be honest with you. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. You know, there was so much time where we were pretty much from the start, we were husband and wife, father and mother. We never got a chance to be boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, not really. It was like a thing that we missed, and I'm going to have to... Do I need that top row? Does that really make much of it? It does in here. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind when I do this. But before I do this, I think I'm going to go and kill that creeper that was hanging around over here. But anyway, I'm gonna keep talking until this is done, because I really just want to kind of help people. That's my intention. Hopefully, it does. But yeah, we never really got the chance to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and it was so much like we were 18, we were young, you know, all of a sudden we're not learning how to kiss and hold hands. We're learning how to feed a baby, how to furnish a house on a budget, how to, you know, make college work with little to no money, you know. And I mean, thankfully in the UK, you know, you're entitled to free education until you're like 21, I think it is. It was 21 when I was at college, I believe, but it might have changed since then. You know, there's like help for youngsters when they're at college. You know, and I know that's not the case all over the world, but in England it is. But anyway, so we were kind of fortunate there, but at the same time, you know, we're trying to make sure we get a good education so we make a reasonable amount of money in life. You know, we're trying our best to raise a little girl, and then we've got like furniture, and there's, you know, there's costs everywhere you look at it, everywhere you go. And you know, we did that. That's not going the way that I want it to go. And we never really got the chance to be us. But you know, now our daughter's nearly 10. She's really grown up for a 10-year-old. You know, I shouldn't say she's nearly 10 because she's only just turned 9 a couple of months ago. But she's at a point where, for the most part, she's self-sufficient. You know, I no longer need to, you know, bath her, or I don't need to feed her. You know, obviously I have to cook for her, which she'll tell you horror stories about my cooking. True story. She asked me for some toast the other day, so I put some toast on. And I come back into my office, and I start doing some work. I then start to smell something burning. So I turn around. I take the toast out. The toast is black. Okay, no big deal. Not the first time. So I get another loaf of bread. Another loaf of bread? No, another slice of bread. I get another slice of bread. I put the bread in the toaster. I then come into my office, this time determined not to do no work. So I decided to load up a quick song on YouTube to listen to, and then I go back into the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen, and I'm talking to Summer. That's Summer's the name of my daughter. And she's going, Dad. And I'm being like, in a minute, sweetie, in a minute. You know? And, you know, she's trying to figure out how to she wants to do YouTube, so she's trying to learn how to video edit. And I'm very much the kind of parent that's like, okay, you need to figure this out on your own for about half an hour to an hour. And then when you can't figure it out, I will help you then. You know, you need to try and find a solution to this problem, you know? And I was trying to explain this to her. I was like, you know, sweetie, you need to go on YouTube. There's videos. And I'm thinking that she's trying to go like, oh, can't you just tell me, Dad, please? And I'm trying to convince her not to. But no, she was trying to tell me that in my infinite wisdom, there was a big flame coming out the toaster. So it turns back around, and there's this huge flame coming out of the toaster. So I unplug the toaster. I dart out the front door. As I pass the living room, my friends stayed with me over the Christmas period. All I hear is this cackling laughter. And then I'm running out there with my hands on fire. The toaster's flame shooting out the toaster. He comes out, laughs at me, walks back in the house. I'm there ranting at the toaster in my comical humour that I do, calling it every little thing that I could think of, being as calmly mannered and family friendly as I possibly could, because my daughter sat at the doorway laughing her head off at me. Yeah, so now I cook chips. and just chips. I also may have set the oven on fire at some point. Check out my Twitter. I got kicked out of the kitchen because I put the chickens in the oven wrong with too much oil, and there was sparks of flames coming from it, and I got kicked out. So take out on me for quite some time for my family. But yes, as I was saying, no, I don't want to do that. As I was saying, you know, my wife and I, we never really got a chance to sort of smell the roses, and we think that this is exactly what we want to take this time and this chance to do. Now, we don't know exactly what the future holds for us, where we're going, or whatnot, but I know my wife's very, very interested in pursuing YouTube, in streaming, and so maybe that'll be something that we end up doing together, you know, and you know, who knows where it'll lead and what'll happen, but I just want to try and make that point that sometimes when relationships aren't working, if you love each other, just quit the argument. You know, there's absolutely no need to bicker with someone that you love. You know, I know that even if me and my wife, even if we do get divorced, I know that she is somebody that I would like in my life till the day I die. You know, and I do say that to all my friends, like, you're in my life till the day I die. Not the day you die, but the day I die, because I'm dying first. That's the rule. You know, I don't deal well with loss, but, you know, I know that even if me and my wife don't end up making a relationship work, I do know that, you know, she's been in my life for a decade. You know, I've lived with her for over a decade. You know, and I can't just throw that away. Not because she said something I didn't like, or because, you know, we couldn't make a relationship work. You know, there are reasons that relationships don't work, and some people say that they're meant to be, they're not meant to be. You know, I kind of think it was I was being directed towards her because there was a lot of sketchy stuff that happened when we got together, and I'm not going to go into that in this video, but I may do in a later video. But just lots of strange things that just were out of the blue for me. But anyway, oh, that's looking quite nice, actually. I kind of like that. I think I still need to do some work on these bits, but for the most part... Oh, hello. For the most part, that's looking alright. But yeah, the space in between is sometimes a space that can regrow you, you know? Not sure if I want to put those there yet or not, but I do think this definitely looks better than it did before. And I had absolutely no intentions of doing this. I had no idea what I was going to do in this video. I just knew that I wanted to talk about my relationship. And I wanted to kind of come clean and sort of explain to you guys, the subscribers, kind of where I've been and why I've been inconsistent and sort of what's been going on in my life. You know, I've been trying my best to fix my marriage. And I don't know if I've done that. I don't know if tomorrow everything's going to be okay. I mean, literally tomorrow everything will be okay. But, don't say that famous last words, but, you know, what I mean is, I don't know if next week, you know, my wife and I are going to be happy. And we're going to be together, you know. But I do know that we've taken that step to the point where I'm not going to lose her. You know, she's not going to leave my life and never be a part of it. Because it's something that neither one of us want. You know, neither one of us want the other permanently out of our life. And if we can't make a relationship work, we can't make a relationship work. It's fine. We did it for 10 years. You know, we still want to part being friends and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. You know, we don't want to throw 10 years of our life away. So hopefully we managed to make something work. Well, for the most part, this looks pretty much done, although I am tempted to put that there. Because that's what we did. We didn't do it there. But we did it... Well, we didn't do it there. But we did it there. So I think on the 3s we'll do that. I don't know what I want to do about that just yet. I may do like a little archway that goes up so I can fill that in a little bit more. But we could tackle that in a later episode, you know. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been battling with for some weeks now. Some months now, actually. Not just weeks, but months. And I hope that, you know, people who subscribe to the channel, people who's been around a while can understand that. Because I've said a lot that I'm back and that, you know, this is it. I'm not going to miss days anymore. And, you know, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to tell you that I'm back and I'm not going to miss a day or anything. Like, you know what I mean? I bet that looks kind of cool if we were to do that and then... So do I like that? Because those don't have it. But it does certainly add more detail. This is kind of a bigger building as well. And what about if we were to go... yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. So... let's do this. And I apologize, this video is actually going to be quite long. I'm kind of realizing now that this video is actually going to be rather long. And we put this on this level, didn't we? Like that, wasn't it? That was... right. Oh no, we didn't put it on in the middle. But I think I want to. I think I want to. Like so. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. So, I think we'll go down here and then up here. And then we'll go up here, like so. Do I have enough of these? I do, indeed. There we go. And this is kind of working out really well. Oops, no, that was supposed to be there. I mean, this isn't an exact science, but... you know, so, again, I apologize for sort of not being here as much as I should be, but I've been dealing with other things. And, you know, one of the big reasons I'm not going to say that I'm back is mainly because I've had 3 colds. Like, 3 really pretty bad colds in 3 months. And something tells me that that's not normal. Like, I shouldn't be getting a cold that often. Especially considering that I usually get 1 a year. And the last time that I had this issue was when I was a kid. And I was in and out of hospital. I actually almost died. My kidneys were shutting down and they were failing. So, thankfully, no issues like that arose at the moment. But... yeah, I mean, that's kind of nice, that building. I think we might be ready to do some pathways in here. We've got this kind of house, but this is the only house we've got. It might make sense to actually repurpose this house into something else. Just because this kind of district doesn't have many houses. But yeah, I'm not going to talk for too much longer. I think I'm going to call it there. So yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. So if you've enjoyed the video, please do consider leaving a like. It really helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So please do leave that like. And click subscribe if you want to see more from me. Guys, I'm KC. I want to thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.